Hello everybody. Today's video is about medical stocks and why there's a lot of people who stay away from medical stocks and why the medical sector is a sector that people just don't want to be involved with. I have 8 reasons why general people stay away from it, and I have 4 personal reasons why I'm not going to be in the medical sector. 1. It's a heavily regulated sector. Government decides whether or not you're going to be able to make a profit. Government decides whether or not you're going to approve your drug. Government decides whether or not your drug is not good enough. There's a lot of compliance, there's a lot of processes, there's a lot of heavy stuff that you need to go through in order to produce a product. I guess some might say it's a high barrier to entry, it has a high moat to the pharmaceutical industry is manipulated. Any and every dirty politician out there might have somebody they like in the pharmaceutical industry. People like to believe that medicine is easy, done for the good of the people, but there's profits here to be made. There's a lot of these companies that manipulate what happened. A competitor might try to put out dirt on another competitor. A competitor might put out research that shows that a drug is not as good. There's a lot of money invested in making the appearance, the visuals, the public's perception into what it ends up being. It's not a pure, does it work or not? 3, you're in the dark a lot of the time. You don't know what the company's done, what kind of research they have. You don't know if their research dollars are being spent wisely or if they're not. You don't know what's going on. You have no idea as to whether your investment is producing results that are going to be good or bad. 4, patents can be infringed upon. They're not necessarily enforced properly outside of the US. Also, medicine is regulated at a different price outside of the US. If you're interested in the pharmaceutical industry, you're basically hoping and praying that it's something that comes out in the US, it's extremely successful, and that nobody else can replicate it anywhere for a very long time, and it cannot be reverse engineered. But paying the doctor that did the research to leak that information is a lot cheaper than trying to make sure that the patent is enforced. 5. In the long term, the overall trend is that government will shut down private medical. It's happening in so many other countries. So many people are behind this idea, this concept, this notion that eventually medicine will be, pharmacies, doctors will become a government agency, a government-run program, period. This is a long-term trend. It's not going to be something that happens overnight. You might put your money in, you might make a lot of money before this happens, but it is going to happen and you are going to end up losing a lot of money. 6. As a small fish in a big pond, it's impossible to get ahead. Let me explain what I mean. You can look up how many people have cancer. The institutional companies can look up how many people have cancer. Who can do it faster? Who can predict how effective this drug will be, what percentage of the market will accept it, and at what price point will this be a good buy or sell? Who has the power to do all of this analytics on a stock to determine whether it's a buy or a sell? Do you as a small fish have this? Or are you up against institutional investors that have way more power to go even down to the penny and see, okay, this stock should be up at this price or this stock should be down at this price. If the price is here, it's going to sell this many units. If they price it here, it's going to sell this many units. If they price it here, this many insurance claims will be denied. If they price it here, this many insurance claims will be approved. This is a lot of information that institutional people have. It's not as easy to get as a small fish in a big pond. 7. It's kind of tied to number 6. Drug companies know how many people have cancer. You know how many people have cancer. They know how many people wear glasses. They know how many people wear hearing aids. They know how many of these units need to sell. It's an exact number. It's an exact math. There's no guessing. There's no estimation. There's no unseen hidden potential. There's no sudden growth of a need or a good demand. It's all measured. Because it's measured, you know what your return should be. To find that it's undervalued, it's underpriced is going to be difficult. And you're going to have to go through a lot to find out what's going on. And at the end, you're going to waste your time going through all of that information and see that, hey, you know what? I'm not going to get a good return on this investment. Let's say there's a new type of glasses. People know how much glasses cost. People know how much are spent on glasses every year. I wear glasses. The market for glasses isn't going to change all of a sudden because you came up with new glasses. You can't change a flip phone to a smartphone in the pharmaceutical industry. It doesn't work that way. Number 8, I'm scrubbing that. I already kind of went over that in number 7. Don't worry about that. I'm going to make sure the title of the video is named properly. 4 reasons why I stay away from pharmaceutical stocks. 1. I do not want to support the CEO, the board, and the entire community in deciding how much profit they should make off of other people's health. It's an ethical question. It's not a, oh, it's right, it's wrong. It's, oh, I can make money from your health. Your health shouldn't be something where I make money. It should just be something that you should be able to get, whether or not there's a way to make money from that. Your health should be something that's available for everybody. It's not something that's for profit. 2, I see massive interruptions coming because once artificial intelligence gets going, they could probably go ahead and assign a computer to this and have it solve a lot of these problems. It'll cut away a lot of the man hours, a lot of the research hours and time, and it's going to put out products at a rate that's much faster, and it might be done by a company that's in so many different markets and so many different segments that they don't even care to make too much profit like the current companies are doing right now. So it's ready for interruption. I don't see the company that's interrupting it yet. Otherwise, I'd be investing in that. But at the moment, it's ready for interruption, and there's nothing that's going on that I can see that is worth putting money into, that is going to give me a return that is outsized. I don't see the AI that's making the product that I want to be a part of. 3, because pharmaceutical companies are seen as cash cows, there's a lot of lawsuits. Malpractice, mal-issuance, mal-this, mal-that, mal-everything. Forget it. Why do I want to be in a company that needs to worry about getting sued about every single thing that they put out? People's health are regarded highly in society, and anytime you try to manipulate that, even if you're trying to improve people's health, you might be looked upon as, hey, you're not doing something good, or your product didn't do what it said it was going to do in the right way, and you're going down a rabbit hole of lawsuits for who knows how long. It's a very heavy burden to have on a company. You can be in other companies that don't have to deal with this kind of burden. When people buy cereal, a box of cereal, you're not going to sue them. You're going to throw away the box of cereal and you're not going to buy it again. 4, the reason I personally don't invest in the drug companies is because, let's say they're very successful in the US, to go to Europe, to go to Africa, to go to South America, to go to Asia. All of these countries have their own medical barriers of entry. All of them have their own rules and regulations, and it's tough to get in. It's tough to say, hey, we got it, let's do it. And once you do get in, they say, oh, you can't charge more than this, you can't do this way. Everything is regulated completely differently, and that makes it a lot harder to know how you're going to win. You can win, but it's step by step. It's such a tough fight to be involved in to win, because if a country delays it, or if a country lags it, or if a country prevents you from going in altogether, it's not based on whether or not the drug company did the right thing. It's not based on whether the drug company can sell it or not. It's based on the relationships between the countries. It's based on whether or not that person in that other country wants to do anything with you or not. It is based on whether the right hands have been greased or rubbed, or enough corruption or money has flowed in to say, okay, we'll do this. I don't want to be a part of something that has so many middlemen. Middlemen is going through all of these organizations to get your product out. It's too complicated. It's not worth the headache for whatever profits you might make off of the pharmaceutical companies. Here's some bonus content that I found based off of a Tom Nash video that I did. Thank you, Tom Nash. I enjoyed your content. I'm going to link your video down below. I'm going to also go over what he showed you, and then I'm going to show you another company so that we can go ahead and compare. The video Tom Nash has went over Moderna, and it was showing how Moderna, the executives are all selling their shares. Probably on top of my face right now, you're seeing the results of what's been going on, the sales, and then the transactions. And hey, it is what it is. Now I also want to show you something else. I want to compare that to another company called NRZ, New Residential Investment. If you look at this company's executives and what they've been doing with the company stock, you're going to see it's slightly different. So it's not something that a lot of people pay attention to, and it should be, but you know, here it is. Just take a look at it and see what you think. All right, see you guys.